Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is Visual Studio Code. So, Visual Studio Code is a well known and popular IDE, integrated development environment, for a number of coding languages, including Verilog. Okay, so today we're not actually going to use any capabilities of Visual Studio Code to actually do coding. The main thing I want to do is to coordinate cloning the repo to your box folder so that you can get files into Vivado. All right, so that's part of the process. But the nice thing about Visual Studio Code is it's pretty lightweight. You can install it on your laptop, and eventually you can do some Verilog coding with that. Okay, so I've got this started, and you see here there's nothing signed in. All right, and so when you first start, if you tried to clone a GitHub repository, you hit this button, it's going to want you to sign in. And I'm worried that this is pretty fragile for, a class of 32 people doing Digital Logic Lab. Is it going to work for everybody? I think that we might have some problems. So if this gives you problems, play around with it. Do some searching on ChatGPT about, any error codes that it might throw. But try to fix it, but don't spend a ton of time because we can work through that in the lab. I just want you to give it a try before lab. Okay, so you see here when I hit allow, it's wanting me to authenticate, and it's got a button, so I press that. All right, so let's see if it works. All right, so connect to repository. Yes, so I can see that it's got access to that classroom repository that you accepted and created when you accepted the assignment. Okay, so what you do there is then click on that, and then what we're going to do is go to Box, go to the lab space that we set up, go to Lab 1, and that's the place where you want to put your code. All right, so it's going to pull that code base. Failed to authenticate. Oh, all right. So it gave you an error message. This is what I was talking about. Maybe this is useful. Control C. All right. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put this into something like ChatGPT. Okay. So I put in help me authenticate from to GitHub from VS Code, and I put in this error message. Okay. All right. So it's going to think a little bit. All right. Sign in VS Code, click accounts button at the left. All right, so let's see. Maybe we're in here, but sign in with GitHub. That seems a little different. Okay, let's clone the repository. Go to Box, Digital Logic Lab, Lab 1. And magically, that kind of worked. All right, so you saw in ChatGPT, it gave me the hint to try a different process for signing in. There's other things that it gives you that's hard to parse through. So that's what I'm saying. I'm worried that this part is fragile across different computer setups. Do your best, and if it doesn't work, we'll see what we can do to fix it. Bring your laptop in, and we can troubleshoot that. Okay, so you're going to have to trust the authors, but you see here what I talked about with loading a code base. You see these are the files that you need for Verilog. So I'm going to open up this logic function. So here is a module. It's Verilog, all right? And so from there, what you've got is the code within an IDE. But then when you go to Box and look, all right, so go to Box, go to the digital logic folder. Where did I put that? Digital logic lab, lab 1, and there's these files that you need. Okay, so in the next video we're going to walk through taking these files that you see showing up in RTL stands for register transfer logic, taking these that show up in TB stands for the test bench, using all these things to build your first Vivado workflow. And you've pulled all these files from the GitHub Classroom. All right, so I've got a fully working project here. This is very simple. It just implements a logic function that is a 1 for all prime numbers between 0 and 15. Okay, so